Do you have an item or two or seven in your closet that you've held on to for a long time and you're not sure why? Like it doesn't fit or it's out of style, but it holds some type of significant meaning to you. Well, whether we realize it or not, a lot of our identity, our personal history, and even sometimes our self-esteem can have a significant connection to what's hanging in our closet. We hold on to things that maybe, just maybe, we should let go of. Welcome to Business with Purpose. I'm your host, Molly Stillman of StillBeingMolly.com, and this show is all about bringing you the stories behind the brands, companies, and small businesses that are changing the world. Each week, I interview an entrepreneur, a CEO, nonprofit director, community leader, or just an amazing person who is trying to make a positive impact not only through their personal life, but also with their career. My goal is to show you that no matter what you do for a living, you can make an impact right where you are. My guest this week is Essence Hill, a personal stylist and shopper, designer, and professional organizer. Essence is an incredible woman who I have long admired and respected, and she's actually a dear, dear friend of mine. And the heart and passion behind what she does is so inspiring to me. I got to have her live in the studio, which I love doing, and just the opportunity to sit down and talk about the heart behind her business and how the impact of losing her mom has impacted her life and her business and so much more. This is such a great conversation, and I know that you will love her as much as I do. So without further ado, on to my conversation with Essence. I have an extremely stylish and amazing friend in the studio with me today. And I always get so excited when I have people live in the studio because so often I'm talking to them through a computer. But today I have my just dear friend, Essence Hill, who is here with me in the studio. Essence, thank you for being here.
Hey, Molly.
Okay, you look I know you're a stylist, so like this is what you do, but you walk in this office and I was like, look at her. Okay, so I just want y'all to paint us a picture. Okay, Essence is just beautiful. And she has this like all black outfit on and then these amazing black tassel earrings and then bright red lips and then these amazing glasses that are like red framed lips. They are amazing.
Yes, thank you.
I would look ridiculous in those glasses.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah. And yet I'm like, why does Essence always look amazing, on point?
Stop. You make me blush.
So before we get into the Essence 101 and just really who you are and your story and everything, when did we meet? Because I was trying to think about this actually yesterday. And I was like, I know we met through blogging and we met through TriFab, but I don't remember like when we met because I just kind of feel like I've always known you, but I know that's not true.
Yeah. So I don't know that moment we met. I think I knew who you were before you knew who I was. No. So it was I think I knew you from Instagram.
Yeah, it's been a few years though.
Yeah, I think I just had like a number of bloggers say, "Hey, do you know about TriFab? Do you know about TriFab?" So I found out about TriFab in your blog, and I think we met at something involving our photographer at the time.
Yes. Well, maybe we did one of those blogger shoots together. So for those that don't know, so TriFab was an organization called Triangle Area Bloggers that I'd started here in 2012 when it was really just an organization that I just wanted to like have an excuse to meet other bloggers. But I made so many amazing friends through it. And so, it must have been. And then back in the day, we would do these like bloggers day out shoots where we would basically take like 4 or 5 hours and shoot outfits like all day. And it sounds like a lot of fun. Outfits. It's a lot of work.
Yes, it is.
It was so much work. And we get so sweaty.
A lot of work. I don't know what I was thinking.
I know.
But
they were fun. And we made good friends through it.
Yes, it was a great way to connect and network. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so I wanted to have Essence here today because I was telling her before we started recording, I have seen Essence just transform over the years. And she's always been amazing, but she's just really inspired me because over the years, I've seen you just really begin to walk into a purpose that God has for you and the doors that he has opened for you, and just your passion for, styling and your passion for organization and all these things, which, on the surface sound like very kind of like superficial type things. And I always talk about that too as a blogger. But when we really peel back the layers of the onion and we get to the heart of what those things do as serving other women, and really helping them to coming alongside them and helping them to find their purpose and all those kinds of things. And I just am so inspired by you. And so that's why I wanted to have Essence in the studio today.
Thank you.
So Essence, before we get really dive into all of that, I'm going to have you do what I have all my guests do. And that's give the Essence 101. So tell us who you are and how you got to where you are today.
Who am I? I'm Essence.
Who is Essence?
I am exactly what my name is. And I'm a Raleigh native. So that's how I got here.
Yeah. In the geographical region.
But how I got here as far as styling and the career and blogging and all that stuff. Honestly, I've always had this passion for fashion. I think it started because as a child, my parents were very fashionable. My mother and my father were both very well dressed. But I'm the youngest of 4 girls. And by the time my mom got to me, I think she was tired.
I think a lot of moms can relate to that.
Yeah. She would, Easter became me and my sister, who's 18 months older than me. We always had the same outfit. I did not like that. I wanted to pick out my own clothes, but it was just easier to go to JCPenney and buy the same dress, the same hat, the same shoes. So I, as a child, always wanted to rebel against dressing like my sister. So when I got a job, that's exactly what I started doing. And my first job was in retail. So I took full advantage of my little 30% discount and I began to transform. I could finally say, look, I bought this and this is my style and this defines me, versus my mom deciding my budget for styling and clothes, or what exactly I was going to wear. So that's where I feel it started for me, was in childhood. So in high school, I wasn't best dressed, but I was one of the best dressed.
Yeah, you were always like, you walked into school looking as good as you do today.
I set a standard, but I wasn't. I was still. I'm introverted. So I still wasn't as bold or as confident as I am now. And I certainly didn't understand back then, there wasn't an industry for styling and personal shopping as trendy as it is now. Everything has changed. So being able to monetize something like that, then I had no idea. And during college, I thought girls who dressed nice and got attention for dressing nice was a negative thing. I never wanted to be known as the girl that could just dress.
Yeah.
Because to me, that was superficial. You, like, beyond that, what else were you? So I shied away from the compliments or the attention behind my clothes because I didn't want to be just known for that. Now I'm just known for that.
Isn't
Which
that
is
funny?
Weird.
It's like, he took the thing that you were
Which is weird.
struggling with, and then
So, here I am.
And so you started blogging.
I started blogging. My background is in the legal field, so I was a paralegal for 10 years.
I did not know that about you. How did I not know that?
Yeah. So this is the official how I got started story.
Yeah.
So I worked at a law firm. I was in the legal field for 10 years, and I would go to work at a law firm dressed with animal print heels, a polka dot skirt, and a green blazer.
Yeah.
And half the people were like, what do you have on? And then the other people were like, oh, that's kind of cute. I would have never thought to put that together.
Yeah.
So I became the cubicle chick where people would literally come to my office and see what I had on every day.
Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure.
So that turned into me going to the mall with my coworkers at lunch. Help me find something to wear. What would you put with this? Take me to get those kind of shoes. So that's how I got started. And Christmas parties.
Oh,
Everybody wanted me to dress them for Christmas parties. So I began doing that. And literally, I was at the mall joking, and I had my coworker with me, and this guy was like, he saw me helping her, and he was like, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm a personal stylist." And he was like, "I've been wanting to do that for years. I have to get your information." And he runs off and get a pen, and me and my coworker are laughing like, "Oh my God, what am I going to tell him?" Because it's not true.
Yeah.
I work at a law firm. And I got his information. I didn't give him mine, and I never called. Literally, that's how I got started.
Wow.
That is
so it's like a fake it till you make it. You were
Exactly.
like, I'm a personal stylist.
Exactly.
Speaking it into existence.
Exactly. I did. And I changed my Instagram at that time. I had my legal information, paralegal, blah, 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 in my profile. And I changed it, and I said, I'm a paralegal by day, a personal stylist by night, before I ever had a client.
Yeah.
Before I ever had a client. So that's how I got started.
I love it. So now, I mean, for those that don't know, so, and obviously can't infer, but so Essence, you are a personal stylist. Mm-hmm. You're also a personal shopper for mm-hmm. people. You are an amazing, you do a lot of organization for people. Yes. I actually hired Essence last summer to come and organize my closet. But you have a skill set that is a really unique skill set that not everybody has. And that's one of the things that I have tried to do through this podcast is showcase so many different types of people who are using the skills and the gifts that God has given them to mm-hmm. serve other people. Yeah. Whether it is you are really good with spreadsheets, or you are really good with, designing things, or whether you're an artist or an author or a stylist. Like, we have all been given gifts by God, and how do we use those gifts to serve others? And so one of the things that I know about you is, so you realize that you had these skill sets. You're really good at organization. Mm-hmm. You're really good at styling. At what point did you realize, other than, you telling a guy in the mall that you were a personal stylist, which is amazing. I love that story. At what point did you realize, like, this is something that I think people actually need help with, and how can I use this skill set that I have, whether it's organization or styling, to serve other people in this way?
I think the very first closet organization client that I had made me realize there's a need for this. Mm-hmm. She had also been someone that I had shopped for and styled, but she had hot water heater damage from her attic come down into her bedroom. Her home was destroyed. They had to redo everything, literally from the ground up.
Oh my goodness.
So she called me to come in and do her closet once the construction was complete. And I walked into her closet. After a disaster like that, you never know what organization means to somebody. Getting their life back in order, adding structure after something that devastating happens. So when I organized her closet, going into closets is deeper than what it sounds. It's much more than getting rid of shoe boxes and putting things in color order. You get to see a person's wardrobe, what it means, what they've held on to. Mm-hmm. And this particular client had transformed not only her home in the construction, but her body. She went through a tremendous weight loss journey. She went from like a size 20 to a size 6.
Wow.
Well, what I found in her closet were all those old clothes and all those old sizes. And this had been years. So it wasn't like, an instant transfer. She had been small now for years. And I said, why are these still in here? And she just said, I don't know. I'm scared I'm going to use them again. So I knew then, like, it sounds like, oh, you organize closets and hangers. It's much more than hangers and shoe boxes. Like, you get to, it's like therapy.
It is.
It's like therapy, getting someone to come in and clean out that old you. So that's when I knew it's much more, and this business has purpose behind it.
Man, I would have never thought about that until, and I just think about even for me, like, it was funny because my husband, when I told him that I was like, I'm hiring my friend Essence to come and organize my closet, and he's like, well, why? And I was like, well, one, it needs to be done. It is a disaster. But I have found, for me, just getting kind of deep here, last year after the loss of 2 pregnancies, I realized how much like decluttering and organization and like cleaning was therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
And after those losses, like I just started to purge things. And I didn't know why until I was in therapy actually one day. And I was telling my therapist, I was like, why is it that I'm doing this? Like I am compulsively organizing and cleaning things, and I'm not even good at this. Like I'm not an organized, I mean, I'm a clean person, but I'm not good at organizing things. Right. I was like, so why am I compulsively getting rid of things? And I'm compulsively trying to like just move stuff around. Like sometimes I'll realize that for like 2 hours, I haven't actually done anything. I've just been like moving things around. And she said, it's because it's what you can control. And you feel out of control right now. And you feel like your life is out of control. You couldn't control the loss of your babies. And so what you can do in this moment is like, you can control the cleanliness of your house or the organization of your house.
Wow.
And it was like, oh my gosh, yes, like that's exactly it. And until she verbalized it like that for me, I never thought of it like that. And so, but one of those like just overwhelming things for me was my closet. Like, and I had gained a lot of weight from the pregnancies, and things were just not fitting me right. And I was just really struggling because I was holding on. And like I had gifts in my closet, like that people had given us, like baby gifts,
my goodness.
You know, and like things like that. You know, my wedding dress that doesn't fit anymore. The dress that I wore to our wedding rehearsal dinner that doesn't fit anymore. And those kinds of things that just like, I was really struggling with that. And to have you come in and like clean that out for me and like organize all that stuff. And it forced me to like face some of those things that I'd been holding on to, and I didn't know why.
Yeah.
And when it was done, it was like this weight had been lifted off. And it just, it's amazing how that simple act of having somebody else come in and do something for me that I couldn't even emotionally do. Because there were even, like you and I talked about this, there were even boxes in there in my closet of my mom's stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that in a second. But there was boxes in there that my dad had given to me of my mom's stuff, and that I couldn't emotionally go through. But I was forced in that moment. I was like, I have to go through this stuff.
Yeah.
I can't hide from it anymore. And it's like there's such a like it's like closets really become such a metaphor for the crap we hide in our lives.
Absolutely.
And you going into somebody's closet and like literally helping them clean the crap out of their lives.
Yes.
That's transformational for people.
It is. And it's not just transformational and therapeutic for my client. It's for me too. Like I enjoy knowing that this structure and this system is going to make you, when you wake up tomorrow after I'm here, going into this new system where you can see everything and everything that's not supposed to be there is gone, or there's just a system or a label to show you exactly everything has a place now. And if it doesn't have a place in there, it shouldn't be there. So yeah, I really, really enjoy it.
I'm sorry to break from this amazing conversation with Essence, but I wanted to take a moment to thank our sponsor, and that is the Happiness Planner. The Happiness Planner is one of my favorite brands. They design the most beautiful, inspirational planners, journals, and notepads. I personally love the Happiness Planner because it helps keep me on track and find joys every day. They also have journals that focus on different themes such as confidence, gratitude, growth mindset, purpose, so much more. Great tools to help you become more self-aware, happier, and more fulfilled. And for those of you who like to use apps, which I know I do, the Happiness Planner is also available as a mobile and web app. Now, how is it different from other calendar and to-do list apps out there? Well, on top of like schedule and to-do lists, it comes with functions like monthly goal setting and reflections, meal and exercise recording, gratitude journaling, happiness, health, energy level tracker, and daily inspirational quotes and articles. It's incredible. So you can check out their web app at thehappinessplanner.io or download the mobile app from the App Store or Google Play. And you can download their printables for free from their website, thehappinessplanner.com. And if you want to shop today, you can use the coupon code Live with Purpose for 10% off. That's Live with Purpose for 10% off at thehappinessplanner.com. Now, back to my chat with Essence. So one of the things I did want to talk to you about is that we have in common is that we've both lost our moms.
Yes.
And that loss, we've had conversations about this before, is that the loss of our moms individually, I mean, losing a parent is difficult for anyone. I mean, losing a loved one is difficult, but it's something when you're a young woman and you lose your mom, and it's a club that nobody wants to be a part of. But once you're a part of that club, it's like you have an understanding for that person. And in different ways, the loss of our moms has impacted our lives and how we see ourselves, like living out our purpose and living out a higher calling and really wanting to leave a legacy. So I would just love for you, share as much or as little as you want, but like how has the loss of your mom impacted you today, and when you think about like the legacy that you want to leave and you walking in your purpose and inspiring other women?
Do you have some tissue out?
Yeah. I will get some.
How my mom's death has impacted me. Wow, that's a deep and loaded question.
Yeah.
So I'll try not to get too deep or too long.
Okay.
But I lost my mom when I was 28 years old. And I was living in Seattle, Washington at the time. And as I said before, I was the youngest of 4 girls. But me and my mom just had this, not to take away from my other sisters, but we had I feel a closer relationship because I was at home the longest, and I was at home by myself. You know, my sisters had all, moved out and got married. I didn't leave home till I was 25 years old. I just didn't have the desire to leave.
Yeah.
And so I think all of that was on purpose. There was a reason. So I stayed home till I was 25, decided at 26, I'm going to be grown now and not only move out, I'm going to move out the state to the West Coast.
Yeah.
So long story short, my mom was in a car accident while I was living in Seattle, Washington. She survived the accident. I came back during her rehabilitation phase to kind of help her restructure her life and take her to doctor's appointments. So I flew back here to help her with that transition. So over the next 30 days, me and my oldest sister were here to help her through that process. She was fine. By the time we left, she was driving again. She was like healing. So the time that we got to spend with her was amazing. And it was like role reversal. We became the parents. Did you take your medicine? Did you it's time for you to lay down. Let's eat. We became her caregivers. And we flew back after doctors released her and said, she's good. 30 days after that, she passed away. And life has not been the same since. And I know people say, my mom was my best friend. And like everybody says these things when they lose someone, or you hear people say, I think about her daily or every moment. It's the truth. Like it is the truth for me. There is still not a day that there is something in my life that connects me, reminds me what my mom would say, what my mom would do. So the transition into that reality was hard. It was hard because not only was I not here, I'm in another city, like trying to process that this is my new reality. The following year, I came back to North Carolina to help my dad because he was a mess. Like this new normal of my mom was a stay-at-home mom. Like she ran the house. My dad was a truck driver, so him not being able to figure out home life without her was hard for him. So I moved back. And when I moved back, I was totally not prepared to start the mourning process all over again. Moving into her home, driving down the street, going to the store. It was so hard.
That's a part of the grief process people do not talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Is reliving and like having to go through that stuff. And like when you have to go through their belongings and you do everyday things. Oh yeah.
I mean, literally like going to the Chick-fil-A by her house. Like you're like, oh my gosh, she's never gonna, like it was hard. And I know people go through things and losses, and it's an unmatched loss is all I can say. It's an unmatched loss. Like it's a fulfillment. I know people have stepmothers and godmothers and things like that, but it's just an irreplaceable love that you cannot describe. It's been tough. So what has gotten me through that, how I've been able to function, is God. My prayer life. I'm a dreamer.
Yeah.
I have always been a dreamer. So I had dreams forever. But I had one specific dream prior to her passing that I know God gave me. And that dream was that she was in this beautiful, beautiful house. And there was this amazing door that connected the dining room of the house. Very weird. A door in the dining room. And every time she would go to the door, she would turn around and go back to the table and not go through it. And so I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know the significance of the dream. But before she passed, I shared it with her. And she said, that's my confirmation. And I said, what does that mean? She said, I have been having this reoccurring dream about this door forever.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Every time I see it, I walk away. And she said, now when I see the door, I know it's okay to open it.
Oh my gosh.
So that dream for me and her transitioning a month later was pure confirmation of where she is now and where she will be eternally for me. So there have been those dreams that have given me peace, just prayer. Like I know people don't always have a relationship with God, and it seems cliche to say God got me through it. I'm telling you, like, there's no way I would be here even able to tell this story right now without tearing up and crying if I didn't have a relationship with God, if my mom didn't have a relationship with God, if that structure wasn't already in place. So, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Essence, thank you for sharing that. What is the legacy that your mom left for you? Like, what is the greatest impact that she had on your life?
The greatest impact that she had on my life is her relationship with God, the legacy of Christianity, of spiritual truth. My mom was not raised in a Christian home. She went through, that's a whole nother podcast of what my mom grew up seeing and experiencing. I mean, I just don't understand how she was strong enough to even get to a place in her life to get to God because of what she went through as a child. And so knowing that she was physically abused, sexually abused as a child, and still became this amazing person, this you would have never known had you not heard her tell her story that these are the things that she's gone through. The other thing is my mom, when she was pregnant with me is when she gave her life to God. And so I feel like, again, I'm a little special because of that. And so that legacy, that gift was passed on and given to me. And that's what I carry in my heart. Like, to make sure not only I uphold God's name, but her name and what she has given me. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I can just say that I've seen you give God glory in everything that you do. And even as you have, pursued this passion and this dream for, a styling business and an organization, a personal organization business and all these things, again, which like we talked about at the beginning, is sometimes like on the surface, like those things seem very kind of just surface level, but I've seen the impact that you've had on so many people. And even just really cool opportunities. Like, you've had the opportunity to style like the wives and girlfriends of like Super Bowl players.
Yes. So
please tell that.
My mom, again, let me tell this part. So my mom had a boutique in Raleigh. This is before there was a Triangle Town Center, any of that, right off Wake Forest Road, really close to Panera and Ruby Tuesdays. So she had this boutique. The name of her boutique was Designs Especially for You. Okay. So she had her clients and, all that. I was totally not interested at the time in anything about the business, and like I knew about it, but it just like, okay, she's dressing people for church, and like it just wasn't me because it didn't relate to my style and my friends, so I didn't understand it. So anyway, fast forward, after she passed, I have all these things, all her business cards, all her business information, and I'm like, the business had already closed. So I'm like, what do I do with it? So as far as legacy, I wanted to carry on something regarding her business. So I began a jewelry business, and I took Designs Especially for You and turned that into Defy. Defy Fashion is the name of my business. So that business went from a jewelry business to a clothing business to what it is today. I customize jackets, camo jackets, adding patches. Like it was trending for the past 2 years. How I got my jackets to the last 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, I was going to say, because the last 2 Super Bowls, I'm just saying, okay, so if I can somehow introduce you to the girlfriend or a wife of anybody who plays for the Cleveland Browns, okay? Because
to get them to the Super Bowl?
To get them to the Super Bowl. Because I'm just saying, I'm just saying, like, if Essence is styling the women of Super Bowl winners 2 years in a row.
2 years
so
in a row.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, but yeah, so how did that even happen?
It's crazy. So this business, I began marketing and posting on Instagram only. I didn't. And one thing, when you become a blogger or a stylist, you're your brand. You're a representative of your brand. I wanted a separate business where I'm not the face of everything. So that's how I marketed that business. So I somehow I didn't know anybody. Nobody introduced me to NFL wives. I attracted that market because that is the market that I wanted to get into. I wanted a level of clientele that understood the value of the product I was offering, and I knew that they're going to these games. They want to be trendy. They want to look
because they're photographed,
exactly,
like with the winners.
Exactly. So I tapped into that market. So it didn't. I began building clientele with NFL wives and even some retired NFL player wives. And it's kind of like school.
They all know each other.
They know each other, and they want to wear the same things, believe it or not. And so if one has, they're like, oh, where did you get that? Where'd you get that? So it started on social media, and that's how I built that business. How they got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, I literally, both years have been surprised by this.
Yeah.
I had a client, like, we did not know. And I think the wives are a little bit nervous because they're at the games, and they're used to the disappointment of like, oh, we're going home. We're not going to make it. So I remember the first year the Eagles go to the playoffs, and I'm like, we're going to win. Like, I'm all of a sudden a fan. I'm like, so I'm sending a message to my client. I'm like, we're going to win. We're going to the Super Bowl. She's like, I don't know. And I was like, no, we're going. And I had already, designed the jacket and sent it to her. And she, so they win. Fast forward, they win. And I still don't know that she's going to wear the jacket to the Super Bowl until the day of the Super Bowl. I'm like, what in the world? Like, you would have thought I won the Super Bowl.
I know.
Like,
you were
that's
so
how
excited.
That's how excited I was. Like, you don't know, like, that little jacket from Raleigh, North Carolina, from this little girl in Raleigh. Like, not that I'm, just
No,
here.
I know what you mean.
Like, who am I? How did I get there? Like, it was so exciting
to see a creation of yours,
that
to see
my
something
hands
you
touch.
designed. Yeah,
like, that's amazing to me. And again, this year, same thing. Like, this client, she already had her jacket. Like, I don't know. They can win. They can wear anything in the world, any designer in the world, and for them to honor my work and what I've done for them at such a legendary moment, like, it means the world to me. Like, you can't tell me I don't have a trophy in my house just from that experience.
It was so cool because even I saw pictures on social media, like, and pictures in like on the news and the magazine. Like, you would see the players with their wives, and I'm just like, I know who designed that jacket. I know who made that jacket. Like,
exciting.
And it's little things like that. But I love how even like in a moment that's just so fun as a designer to see your items, on a international stage like that. It's just it's a really big moment. But I just loved the thing that I noticed about you is like the moment that happened, and I saw those pictures floating around social media and things like that. Like, you were so quick to just give God glory in everything. And you were just like, these are opportunities that God has opened up for me.
Yeah.
And it's created an opportunity for you to grow your business and grow and impact more people, and you're really, like I said, you really are helping people, in an area because, like, kind of like what we talked about at the beginning is like a lot of times, like, our outer appearance is a reflection of how we feel on the inside, and by building up self-confidence and really like walking, not that those things define us or we don't find our identity in those things, but they're a reflection. They can be a reflection of who we are and how we feel. And like I said, I'm just so inspired by you. I love you so much. And I just thank you for sharing your story. And I did not know that about your mom, that she had that boutique. And like now I'm like, okay, it
all makes sense.
All makes sense now. It all makes sense now.
Yes.
Well, Essence, before we go, there's a couple things. One, if people are local or just they're interested in working with you, whether it's through organization or personal styling or anything like that, how can they best get in touch with you?
Social media. You'll catch me on social media. So my personal styling page is Essence Heel, ESSENSEHEEL.
Because you are a fellow Tar Heel fan. Just say.
Yeah. So you can follow me there. And that's all social media is Essence Heel. My closet page is Essence of Closets on Instagram. So follow me. Send me a friend request.
Yes.
I don't mind. Yeah. That's how you can find me.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, well, now is the portion of the show where we're going to transition just a little bit before we go to ask some fun get-to-know-you questions. And as my listeners know, this is also the part of the show where my executive producer husband inserts like a sound effect or a movie clip or quote to transition us.
Okay.
So we don't ever know what it's going to be. So, Essence, are you as ready as you will ever be?
I guess.
That's what I can't stand about the internet, because it's messing with my fashion game. I feel like I should be able to wear what I want, when I want, however many times I want, as long as I Febreze it. Like this dress, I wore it on the red carpet for Girls Trip, and my whole team, they told me, Tiffany, you cannot wear that dress on SNL. You already wore it. It's taboo to wear it twice. And I said, I don't give a dang about no taboo. I spent a lot of money on this dress. This dress costs way more than my mortgage. This is Alexander McQueen, okay? It's a $4,000 dress. I'm gonna wear this dress multiple times.
Okay. Would you rather have unlimited sushi or unlimited tacos for life?
Tacos.
Tacos! Yes.
I don't do sushi.
Okay. What cheesy song do you have totally memorized?
Cheesy. Baby Shark.
Because
Because
of your niece?
I don't have kids, but I have a niece, so I don't know why I know these words.
Your niece is like the cutest.
I love her.
She is so stinking cute.
Thank
I
you.
cannot even handle it. Oh my goodness. Okay. What is your spirit animal and why?
Cheetah.
Cheetah. Yeah, that is very fitting.
Cheetah. Because I could make some shoes in a bag. And yeah, cheetah.
I like it. Do you have any unusual talents or skills that we would not know about?
Yeah. I'm hilarious.
Yeah, you are hilarious.
I have like this comedian streak. I can do not I can't do imitations of like a celebrity imitation, but like I can go out here and copy Molly and someone will be like, oh my God, you sound just like Molly. Like, but I have to do it spontaneously. Like it's not a rehearsed do Molly. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's my like hidden talent.
I love it. Okay. And then my last question is, what are you most grateful for today?
Health. Health. I'm grateful for health, life. Yeah. The thing that we take advantage of, just like the activity of your limb. The being able to wake up and stand up. I'm thankful for health because everybody does not get up and walk around and do what they love. So I don't want to take advantage of just the ability to live life. Yeah. Your health. Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. Those are things that, you don't even think about until something happens and just taking every moment and just taking nothing for granted and just making sure that you are grateful every single day for the little blessings and the big blessings and everything in between. Essence, thank you so much for coming in, and I just loved getting to spend some time with you and sharing your story with the podcast listeners, and I'm so grateful for you, friend.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad I came.
I would love to know what you loved about this episode, or if maybe there's something that inspired you or something that you learned. Let me know on social media. You can find me at Still Being Molly or at Business with Purpose Podcast on Instagram or Facebook. And don't forget that hashtag Business with Purpose Podcast. And another huge, huge, huge thank you to our sponsor, The Happiness Planner. Visit thehappinessplanner.com with code LIVEWithPurpose for 10% off. And don't forget the app is at thehappinessplanner.io. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. If you are a first-time listener of the show, welcome. Be sure to visit the archives for past shows featuring incredible entrepreneurs and business owners who are literally changing the world with their businesses. And if you're a regular listener of the show, thank you for tuning in and week out, and thank you for your support. Be sure to head on over to iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Radio Public, wherever you listen to podcasts, and make sure you click that subscribe button. That helps to make sure that you never miss a new episode of the pod. And while you're there, would you take a moment to leave a review of the show, pretty please? Leaving a review helps me to know what you are liking and how the show is personally impacting you. This show is edited by my incredible husband and executive producer, John Stillman, and the music is by Mark Killian of Third Wheel Media. Thank you so much for listening, and go do something good with purpose on purpose.